to put it succinctly and to put it in terms that you fucking understand, I know about you coming in the gate when I did, and when I said what I said, when I identified as a left winger, and the fact that I was part of the Democratic Party, that you were already biased because you had been lied to by your leaders on a pretty much systematic level, constantly, ever constantly about us and our party, you know? And by the way, your Republican leaders are objectively liars, and everything they've ever accused us of is foundationally fucking untrue, unfair, and inaccurate. A Republican has never told the single truth about the Democratic Party, and it's always lied. No matter what they say about us, they're always lying. If any perception they had of us was always either delusional or a lie, and there is no other possibility. Like, it either falls into one of those two boxes. Period. End of story. They've never told a fucking single fucking truth about us. I'm done. You know? I'm done. You know, the Republicans are liars. They are not trustworthy. They, you know how you know a Republican is lying about a Democrat? His mouth is moving. Like, seriously, it's that simple. I'm so sick of it. These people did not want to like me. They were biased against me from the get-go because of which party I identified with. And therefore, because they don't want to like me, they're investing all of their fucking perception and points and everything in doubling down on a perception that is inaccurate at its foundation. Like, you want to represent me, and you want the hate inside me to define me as a person. You know, you want to say that those dark thoughts that I had, those violent desires and things that I want to see happen to the Republican Party are the entirety of my essence, and they make me categorically similar to Elliot Rodgers and Chris Chan. But this is unfair and entirely inaccurate, and you are suffering from confirmation bias. You have arrived at your unfair and foundationally inaccurate perspective about me, and I know that it's nothing more than confirmation bias. You are biased against me, and therefore your perception of me could not possibly be accurate. I can categorically rule it out and be absolutely certain that my self perception is accurate and yours is psychotic and delusional. Warped at absolute best, beyond fucking recognition. Like, what you think about me doesn't even resemble me in the slightest. It is entirely inaccurate. And it's not even a fair fucking character. The character you have made of me in your mind doesn't even fucking resemble me in the slightest. I'm done. You know, I came here against a group of people that already had been systematically propagandized to and lied to, who wanted to hate me from the get-go, and they were only vested in seeing what they wanted to see. So what they want to see and what they want to represent me as is a hater and a hateful person who just delights in seeing Republicans suffer. But I've told you before, I don't live my life entirely to fucking watch you fucking pieces of shit suffer. Because this is not what I am. This is not the fullness and the fullness of my personality. This is not the fullness of the truth of what I am and what I have been. And you people, yeah, you, the haters that I've attracted on this particular platform, you are invested emotionally in an angle on me that is unfair and inaccurate at its foundation level. You have been biased from the start, and largely because your leaders lied to you and fed you with propaganda that you gobbled up like a pig to the trough about the Democrats and what we represent and what we're about. There's no possibility at all that comparing me to Chris Chan or comparing me to Elliot Rogers is fair. I don't own a gun, and frankly, as I've pointed out time after time after time after time, I did one thing right. As far as I'm concerned, you haters are not worthy to lick the mud off my boots, much less go out and buy a gun, shell out money on a gun, a firearm, and then risk possible jail time over. So whatever you're fucking afraid of, and your delusional perspective about me being a threat, yeah, like I said, that's what you call the enlarged amygdala. It's the basis and foundation of like what we know about you Republicans. You've got a brain that is maladapted to modern civilization. It makes up non-existent threats. You see threats where none exist, like right here. Me. I'm not a threat, but you have to distort reality into making me one and create a character that doesn't even resemble me in the slightest. So all these perceptions that you have about me, they say everything about you and nothing about me.